We couldn't go to the movies. They wouldn't even let us go upstairs in 1948 when we opened our training camp in Vero Beach. They didn't want us there at all. I know because I almost got lynched there in 1948, the first year we opened Vero Beach. Because I want kids to know. I want kids to know about how our life once was.
Each of the players who integrated the 16 Major League teams from 1947 to 1959 each had to face their own challenges and their own struggles on the teams.
We couldn't stay in the same hotels. We couldn't eat in the same restaurants. We could not drink at the same water fountains.
I used to remember how we used to pull in the Union Station in St. Louis. Hell down below, it could be any hotter than St. Louis in July and August. Where we had to go and where we had to stay. We had to find a cab at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, because that's what time we got in, was an overnighter from Brooklyn or from New York to St. Louis.
Many times the players were brought up two at a time, so they would have a roommate. They were not always allowed to stay in hotels with the team, the other teammates, and so they frequently had to stay with families, African-American families, and in the African-American communities.
We'd stand out on the curb, me and Jackie and Roy, with our suitcases. While the rest of the team, the white players, had an air-conditioned bus waiting for them at the station. They didn't have to touch their shaving kit until they got to the hotel.
It was a lot different. A lot different than when Jackie come up. I mean, I saw what those guys would call him.
Like, you black so-and-so, you wanted to be here, so you have to go for yourselves.
And those are just mild examples. There was danger. We were threatened with letters, phone calls, and all that.
We had to get our suitcases and carry them through the station, stand on the curb and wait for a cab if one came. Otherwise, we stayed there until one came. This air-conditioned bus with all the white players on it would drive by us, and we were supposed to be teammates, but see, there was this separateness.
So, you know, there were restaurants people couldn't go in. You know, when they traveled, they had to stay in people's houses. I mean, the jazz musicians had to do this too. You know, it wasn't like you could go to the Four Seasons or, you know, Ritz-Carlton or whatever. You know, you had to stay at somebody's crib, and, you know, the person with the crib would cook food for you. It was a whole different culture.
Not one ever got off that bus and came with us and stood there and said, "You guys helped us. We won championships and made some money. We'd like to find out how you live. Find out what you have to go through and why you're so bitter sometimes." And we were bitter a lot of times.